AI. It seems to be everywhere of late. Am I using AI for trading? Can you use AI for trading? How can we utilize this amazing new development in technology to help us become more profitable and consistent traders going forward? Now, unless you have been living under a computational rock recently, you've probably heard about the majesty of ChatGPT, a linguistic model that enables you to interact with huge data sets that have been trained on vast amounts of information. It can feedback information, it can allow you to interact with it, and it can give you answers from how much is the price of milk to really complex existential questions about life and the universe. However, not to be outdone, other tech companies are racing to become relevant in this space as well. And we can see why. The potentiality for productivity gains is huge, opening up a whole new source of revenue for these companies. I'm Justin Banton, and this is the House of Trade. Let's talk about AI, and how we can use it as traders to augment, supplement, and better our trading. So, as I said before, ChatGPT is and has been established by a company called OpenAI. But Google, who are owned by Alphabet, have developed their own system called Bard. Now, I'm British, so I pronounce it Bard in the Shakespearean way of Bard, but I'm going to say Bard for this video. And you might disagree, you might dislike it, but hey, I like the sound of it. Now, how can I use artificial intelligence to help my trading? Now, if you are an embryonic trader at the beginning of your trading journey, this might seem daunting. This might seem like an irrelevant, over-complex utilization of a new technology that's irrelevant in managing your risk, managing your psychology, and managing your consistency to become profitable. However, I think artificial intelligence is not just for big hedge funds, huge institutions who, don't be wrong and don't be kidded, they have been using it for a wide space of time right now to gain alpha and to gain competitiveness in the industry. And I think it's only incumbent upon us and only fair for us to also utilize this new power. So in today's video, I want to talk about the majesty and the magic of artificial intelligence. I want to particularly focus on Bard. Now, Bard, I'm not going to get used to saying it like that, is, I like to say, ChatGPT on steroids, because that's the only analogy I can actually compare it to. Now, I think it's hugely beneficial because it not only uses the computational power of Google, but it also uses Google's analytics, their behavioral science, their complete dominance in YouTube. And when you combine all of that power, it really does create an effective tool. Not to mention the fact that it's completely free, it doesn't suffer from the same latency issues as ChatGPT, and it also provides, I think, fewer hallucinations, which in the speak is nomenclature for when it feeds back incorrect information. Now, you might think I'm being sponsored by Bard or by Google, but I'm really not. But if you guys are out there watching, hey, I'm open to any form of endorsement or sponsorship, not to be too venal. But let's really dive into how I am using artificial intelligence to help augment my trading every single day. Now, on an everyday basis, trading is the combination of using your skill as well as lots of technical and fundamental analysis. You can spend copious amounts of time watching the news, seeing for new developments, and trying to see correlations between assets that can take up quite a lot of time. This was normally the mainstay of companies with huge amounts of data processing compute, and also our army, a veritable army, a legion of data analysts and data scientists. But now, with the use of things like Bard, we can harness the exact same power for our disposal during trading. So I've developed a series of questions that I'm going to test Bard on to develop a sense of its efficacy and how we can use it to our benefit. So with any AI model, with any linguistic model, it's only as good as the prompting and as the information you train it on. So let's go through some questions that you might be using as a trader every single day to help you. So the first, If you're anything like me, I like to crunch numbers and do regression analysis between different assets for cross-asset correlations and to see how one asset might affect the price of another, because it just helps in my accumulation of information to make a highly probabilistic trade using statistical information. So my first prompt that I'm going to ask Bard is create me a regression analysis between the price action of gold, which I trade a lot, and real interest rates. Use data from the past 365 days. Now, this is a massive, massive departure from ChatGPT, because ChatGPT uses information only up until 2021, whereas Bard uses information on real-time data, which, as you can probably infer, is a huge development. I don't want to be able to run analyses on information that is only limited up until 2021. I want to know up-to-date information. So a regression analysis is basically creating a correlation matrix between two variables or two asset classes to see how they are related. Now, normally doing this in Excel, this would have taken me quite some time, copying and pasting information, downloading the information, but using Bard, I'm able to do it in seconds. So it says to me here is the regression analysis between the price action of gold against real interest rates for the past 365 days. It tells me the variables, it tells me the intercepts, and it tells me the standard errors. And it comes up with a conclusion. There is a significant negative relationship between the price action of gold and real interest rates. This means that as real interest rates increase, the price of gold tends to increase. This is likely due to the fact that real interest rates are a measure of the opportunity cost of holding gold. And it goes on to tell me a bit more information. Now, I already knew this, but there are certain cross-asset classes that I don't know this for. So maybe I want to analyze the relationship between a certain stock and the dollar, or a certain commodity and interest rates. And it can give me this information not only for a specific period of time, but for a length of time, a duration. And it can be time sensitive, which is a great time saver. Let's move on to another question. I might also want to ask it, how many double tops has a certain asset given me over a particular period of time? Now, ordinarily, I'd have to go through this quite mechanically and look at each chart and say, okay, here's a double top. I'd have to go like this. I'd have to say, oh, here's one here, and here's another one. Oh, and here's one here. And then I have to count it and I have to rely on my own memory, which, to be honest, is quite porous, okay? But using Bard and artificial intelligence, it can come up with a perfect answer for me in terms of how many double tops it has reached. And it tells me why this is significant statistically. Why is this important? Well, double tops in markets are probabilistic moments where you can really enter a trade and have a statistical advantage over other time periods. Now, if I can use Bard to tell me this, it gives me an edge in terms of being able to identify when the next double top might occur or where price action might go in the future. So this is a game changer because I can do this for any asset. I can do this for an indice. I can do this for a commodity. I can do this for crypto, and it can help me identify where opportunities are coming or where they are not. Let's move on to another question. Calculate the range of gold over the last 7 days. Now, again, I might have to spend quite some time doing a few calculations in Excel to do this. And it's not a waste of time, but it's quite onerous and time consuming. Instead, I can use artificial intelligence to do it. So I type it into Bard, copy and paste it into Bard on this occasion, and it will tell me the range of gold over the last 7 days is $71. The highest price of the period was X, and the lowest price was here. Now, why might I want this information? Well, if I can crunch these numbers quickly and efficiently on a daily basis, it can give me an idea of the ranges I can trade, the support and the resistance. I can crunch these numbers for a variety of assets, which, as you can probably infer, is very beneficial for identifying market opportunities. How about if I wanted to know a forecast for gold based on price action for the last 2 months? Now, ordinarily, that would involve me crunching a huge amount of numbers and making different statistical inferences and extrapolations from data sets. However, using Bard, I can do it in, hey presto, a couple of seconds. And there we go. Here is a forecast for gold based on the last 2 months of price action. It tells me all of this information here. Now, it has caveats. You have to probably go and check through this information yourself, But it gives you a variety of reasons. Geopolitical tensions in the Ukraine, federal rate interest rate policy, short-term volatility, historical price action, so on and so forth. So you can already see the power of all of this. Now, I've created a variety of different questions here for Bard. One, I think, seismic difference is the ability for me to paste URLs from news articles and different data sources and have Bard analyze for biases or potential contradictions, which is really, really useful. It saves me the time of having to go through articles, and it can really help me in terms of analyzing human sentiment when I go through the comment section as well. This is a game changer. One of the other things that I found really, really beneficial, create me a list of stocks that's traded above the 70 in the RSI. Now, RSI, Relative Strength Index, is something I use heavily. Now, ordinarily, I'd have to go through each chart or do some coding to prompt it to give me an alert when a certain stock is trading. But however, if I just use it in Bard, it tells me right here all of the stocks that have traded above 70 in the RSI over the last week. Why is this a game changer? This is a game changer because statistically, if stocks are trading above their RSI, you probably know there's some mean reversion coming soon. Or you can at least start to position. You can at least start to set alerts. It saves me the time of combing through all of these asset classes, and it helps me to narrow down and refine where I want to be trading in the future. So it really is an amazing game changer, I think. And I've said game changer quite a lot, but you're probably getting bored of me saying game changer, but I really do believe that it is a game changer, and that's why I'm posting a video about it. Another question, which companies posted losses for Q1 and Q2? I don't need to keep going on and telling you how onerous something like this would be. It comes up with a variety of different answers. Netflix, Robinhood, PayPal, Spotify, Meta, Twitter, Uber, Lyft, Coinbase, Block. All of these companies made losses for Q1 and Q2. Instead of me combing through balance sheets, Bard has been able to narrow these companies down. Why is this important? Well, I can identify where future weakness might be or where mean reversion might occur. This can inform my trading decisions. This is powerful. This is information. This is a powerful tool for my trading in the future. How about if I wanted to know which commodities are trading above their 200-day moving average, indicating bullish sentiment or a resumption of the bullish trend? Well, I'll type it in to Bard and it will tell me crude oil, natural gas, gold, silver, wheat, corn, soybeans, cotton, sugar, coffee. All of them are above their 200-day moving average. If I were to just go and do a quick check on that, I would see that it is confirmed and they are indeed above their 200-day moving average. Saves me time, helps me to narrow down, helps me to elongate my time horizon, helps me to allocate capital over a longer period of time. Game changer. Again, come with that phrase because I truly do believe. How about if I wanted to find out something to do with FTSE 100 shares? The same thing. I could type in, determine the shares of the FTSE 100 trading below the 100-day moving average. How about if we transitioned into currencies and give it a more complex question? Which currencies are trading above 70 RSI on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily charts? Now, you can probably see why this would be beneficial. It would normally involve me going through each of those charts meticulously and looking for this information. However, using Bard, it not only comes up with one of these analyses, it comes up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different currency pairs that are trading in these conditions. And this can help me then narrow down where I want to trade, maybe on a daily time frame, on a weekly time frame, and I can refine it for even a shorter duration of time as well. So you can probably see already, and I'm not going to mention the game changer word again, although I just did. Now, let's move on to a few more complex questions. Create me a list of important events that statistically affect the price of oil. Now, normally I would have to go through and trawl economic data. I'd have to do my own analyses over huge time series to see how prices reacted to certain news events. But now, Bard will tell me over the next month, geopolitical events, economic data, weather, OPEC, speculation, all of these things are going to play a big role. However, you might be asking, hey, that's quite nebulous, that's quite unspecific. So let me ask with specificity, what are the specific news releases scheduled for next week that are going to affect my trading in oil. Type it into Bard, and hey presto, here is the answer. There you go. It comes up with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All of these events are going to affect the price of oil, which means I know what to keep my eye out for. I know where to set my alerts. I know where to dampen my risk. I know where to deploy capital, and I know where to expect volatility, because volatility is a trader's best friend, but also the worst enemy sometimes. How about if I wanted to do the exact same analyses in terms of event risk, but for copper? Well, I'll just say, do the same for copper, XCU USD as the ticker. And it will come up with a few event risks that are coming up as well for copper. And it will tell me the jobless claims, pending home sales, continuing claims, non-farm payrolls. These are statistically important events for this asset class using historical information and price actions subsequent and prior. This is telling me what I need to look out for. And if I know what I need to look out for, then it is a great tool in my arsenal for being a better trader. Now, I'm sure you can see all of these questions that I'm asking. Based on last week's price action, how far are commodities on CBOE trading from their mean? This helps me with mean reversion strategies. Analyze FOMC statements for key differences. Normally, I'd have to go through or listen to the wonderful J Powell and analyze the differences between the nuances of what they normally said in one meeting compared to another meeting. However, now with Bard, it can analyze it for me and tell me the differences between each meeting, which can help me position for future interest rate decisions and really extrapolate information and position accordingly. How about if I said list the individual stocks, global stocks, trading above their 200-day moving average? Normally, you'd have to write some complex code, or you'd have to have a really good data service that told you these things and flagged them up for you. However, if I just do it in Bard instead, I can then have hopefully some information on global stocks that can really extend my trading and can help me to identify positions of auspiciousness. So Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Tesla, Meta, Nvidia, PayPal, Block, Shopify. These are all trading above their 200-day moving averages and can help me make informed decision. Now, how about a more complicated question? Analyze the correlation between Nvidia's EBITDA and the total market capitalization of crypto assets. Now, if you're a trader, you probably know that there's a correlation between Nvidia and the market capitalization of crypto assets, although Nvidia seems to deny that. God knows why. Who knows? Maybe they don't want to be associated with a speculative asset. But Nvidia has a strong relationship with crypto because their GPUs are used in mining. So let's analyze their numbers against the price of crypto using Bard, something that would normally take me some time to do myself. And then it says here, there's a strong positive correlation between Nvidia's EBITDA and the total market cap of crypto assets. Why is this important? This is clearly important because if crypto is going up, then it's a proxy for the price of Nvidia as well. I don't think I need to explain why that's a game changer. I don't think I need to explain how you can use that statistical correlation to help you make decisions. How about if we wanted to have more nuanced geopolitical assumptions being made here? Now, if this is a good AI model worth its salt, it will come up with a response that says to me, I cannot make assumptions about war because it's immoral. So creating a trading plan for China invading Taiwan is probably something that it's not going to help me with. However, it seemed to have done it this time. And if it didn't come up with an answer, which sometimes it doesn't, you can just create a different prompt. So I said create a hypothetical trading plan for China invading Taiwan, okay? And it should come up with something because it avoids explicitly talking about something as detrimental as war. And it comes up with a trading plan. But these are just very general points. I want it to be more specific. So I'm going to ask it to list the specific vulnerable stocks based on this scenario of China invading Taiwan. And what's it going to come up with, I wonder? Let's see. Defense stock, technology stocks, energy stocks, commodity stocks, financial stocks. But still, this is a bit unspecific for me. I want to know the specific stocks. So I'm going to type in, which are the specific stocks affected? And let's see if it comes up with it. Because if I know this, then I can use geopolitical risk assumptions and analyses to really position for myself. But it's not going to give me that information because it says it's a conversational AI model. But before, it did give it to me. And it listed companies like TSMC, and it listed things like Foxconn, which, as we all know, or if you don't know, are huge behemoths in Taiwan. So I've got a lot of questions here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it can really be used. Oh, let me go through a few more actually. How many trading days more than 2% in either direction? So I can come up with really complex questions and I can ask it, how many days did copper trade more than 4%? What's the likelihood of it reverting to the mean afterwards? And these are really valuable questions because they can help me to make assumptions. They can help me to allocate risk and they can save time when it comes to me trawling through all of these different asset classes and making all of these different decisions. My name is Justin Bantam. This is the House of Trade, and I hope this has been as informative and revolutionary as it is for me, for you. Please like, share, and subscribe my video for future content, and ciao for now.